American conservatives, just as American Democrats, liberal people, is always constantly offended by someone attacking their messiah Trump. And they don't even see it, they don't understand what they're doing by it. They simply turn away people from Trump, from supporting the Trump, while the Trump is supposed to be the savior for American economy one way or another. On his watch must happen the next crisis, the next world crisis, the Big Depression, there another Great Depression supposed to happen on his watch, and economy restart, capitalistic economy. And simply running around screaming on everyone who attacking Trump with some argumentation, at least some argumentation, the basic argumentation, and not representing anything back except for your NPC, your liberal, your feminist, or I don't know, your stupid, etc., low IQ. It's just simply turning away more people from the Trump. Of course, Trump represents, and it's very, very simple concept to understand. Each time capitalism collapsing, each time capitalist as a whole required the next crisis, fascism arising. It's happened only once, of course, in our time, but each time that a reactionary movement arise against changes in society, it become with fascistic ideology that we are all together here. We rich and you poor, we are all the same people. We are protecting our borders, and if you're not patriotic, then you anti-patriotic. When in reality, every communist, if it's communist, of course, every communist who declaring that capital is oppress people, he is not declaring that he is hate country or hate, I don't know, some culture of the country. And today movement of the American left is exactly that. It's demonizing the other side. It's taking this ideology into extreme, exaggerated liberties, exaggerated demands, exaggerated blaming on other people from the left side is supposed to turn people away from the left. Supposed to turn people away from socialism itself. While Antifa, I can't be sure exactly, but at least Russian communists said that Antifa have nothing to do with communist idea, socialism as a communism. And BLM have, it's like far away from communism as it can be, because it declares that one race is matter over the other. Yes, the slogan supposed to mean that black lives also matter, but that's not what it said. It said directly black lives matter and other lives doesn't, because there is no Latino people, there is no Chinese, Asian people in general, there is no Indian people who was oppressed all throughout the history of the United States. Only black lives matters in this case. And simple understanding of that, it's very hard to change mind of American conservative people. They indoctrinated to think that if capitalism worked for a long time, for previous, let's say 20, not 25, but let's say 50, previous 50 years, capitalism worked and worked for some part of the world. Therefore, it's absolutely 100% great ideology that will stay here forever because reasons. And this idea that free market is capitalism and capitalism is free market, it's simply an unrealistic concept. Every other system had free markets. Slave owners, any empire had free markets. Feudalism had free markets. For at least, as far as I know, USSR had free markets. Not free market as whole, but free market. So, where people exchanged for the amount they wish to get for some good, and people paid their amount that they ready to pay for this goods. So also you need to understand that capitalism is not free market economy. Free market economy is like literally any other economy in the world. The only free market economy really existed long before the money. When money took over, when the gold took over, immediately it was highly strictly regulated markets. So understanding what exactly communists trying to say to you, it's very hard for American because they by definition sure that communism is about kill people, let's throw communists out of chapters, etc., etc., etc. So they rather will repeat the same slogans as with this apologizing for Trump, apologize for Trump. You're NPC, you're liberal, you're feminist, and the same thing happens when you're talking with communists. When you're talking with communists, rather than listen to what they're trying to say to you, you just simply running around and shouting that communism is failed, socialism never worked, every country is failed because I said so, no reasons. And when you present it with counter arguments, you simply deny them because by definition communism never will work, and you need to throw communists out of the chapter, and socialism would never work. It was proved by USSR. So it's very hard to really wake brainwashed American people from this indoctrination that you just exactly like feminists. I'm constantly repeating this. You all the same. The only difference between liberal and conservative is how they label people they hate. When American conservative label everyone they disagree with as commie, well, liberals, everyone who disagree with them is Nazi. And to be fair, liberal even here have more bases, which I started from. Fascism arises each time that capitalistic system collapsing, and fascistic idea, Hitler's ideology of Nazism is what United States become after World War II, and this concept is very hard to understand for American people because they was indoctrinated all throughout their lives to believe that that's how capitalism works, when in reality, no, that's how Nazism works. It's a very hard concept to understand, but you live in Hitler's dream. Exactly that Hitler promised to German people before the World War II. And that's why liberals have more basis to claim that you're Nazi than you to claim that liberal is communist. Because probably 95% of the liberals have no relation to communism whatsoever.